exercise 4a, question 3. So we're starting to step up the complexity a little bit here, and we're going to have to manipulate them into the correct form before we do the expansion. So I'm going to look at A, C, D, and F in this video. And that should cover most of the basics. So if we start with 1 over 1 plus x squared. Now we need to simplify that, so we're going to have to apply our indices laws or index knowledge to make this 1 plus x to the minus 2. So there's our x, there's our n. So off we go. So we've got 1 minus 2x plus minus 2 times minus 3, because obviously n take 1 over 2 x squared, plus minus 2 minus 3, take another one off, minus 4 over 3 factorial, or 6, up to you, x cubed. Simplify that one up. We've got 1 minus 2x minus, or plus, sorry, 2 minuses, 3x squared minus 4x cubed. What did we use for x? Well, that was just x, so this is valid for the modulus of x is less than 1. Okay, right, on to part C. I have got the square root of 1 minus x. So we know the square root is to the power a half. I have minus x this time. That minus is supposed to be in the box. And I have a half as my n. So I'm going to chuck everything in the formula again. So that's 1 plus a half minus x. Remember what we've said in the previous videos? Use brackets around their x and you can't go wrong. So I've got a minus x inside the brackets, and I will do every time I need an x for this particular part of the question. So I've got a half minus a half all over 2 minus x squared, and then I've got a half, take off 1, I get minus a half, take off another 1, I get minus 3 over 2. I'm going to put 6 this time, doesn't matter, 3 factorial or 6, up to you, minus x in the bracket, all cubed. Okay, so if we scroll down a little bit, simplify that, I've got 1 minus x over 2, then I've got another minus because I have 3 technically in the next section, so I'm going to have x squared over 8. 1, 2, 5 minuses in the next part, so that's still going to be a minus, and it will simplify 2x cubed over 16. Again, remember what we said, I'm just using a minus x. The minus doesn't make any difference in the validity because I'm putting it inside a modulus, which means ignore the sign. And so I'm just doing, ooh, don't get carried away, modulus of x is less than 1. Sorry, thinking about one of the future questions. Actually, let's neaten that up, make a bit more of an effort. There we go, modulus of x is less than 1 again. So it's really only a numerical value in front of the x that you need to worry about in the validity. The sign does not matter. Right, go on to part E, and you will have 1 over the square root of 1 plus a half x. So again, use your index knowledge. That is 1 plus, and I'm actually going to change that to x over 2 because it's going to make it slightly easier to write into the brackets. Just saves a little bit of writing. So identify your x, identify your n, fill in the formula. 1 plus minus a half x over 2 plus minus a half minus 3 over 2, so that's n take 1 over 2 factorial, or just 2, x over 2 squared again, use of brackets, please be careful. And then I've got minus a half, minus 3 over 2, minus 5 over 2, over 6, x over 2 to the power 3. Right, let's see if I can get to that extended page at the bottom. Okay, so neaten this one up. I have got 1 minus x over 4, half times a half. I've got, if you stick all of those fractions, including the half squared, of course, don't lose that, you will get 3 x squared over 32 minus 5x cubed over 128. Okay, give me a second. I'm just going to try and get to this extend page. Okay, so last but by no means least, I've got the cube root of 1 minus 2x. So that's the cube root of 1 minus 2x all over 1 minus 2x. Now, so you need to simplify this. You've got to be a little bit more careful about this. So you've got 1 minus 2x. Let's put both of them into index form to the third over 1 minus 2x. I'm going to make this really obvious. I'm going to put that to the power 1. Okay, so remembering our GCSE rules of indices, when you divide, and we are dividing exactly the same item, 1 minus 2x in the bracket, you take away the powers. So a third take 1 is minus 2/3. So I'm going to put minus 2x everywhere I want the x, and I'm going to put minus 2/3 everywhere where I have that one. So off we go. Let's give ourselves a bit of room because we've got quite a lot of writing here. So we've got 1 plus minus 2/3 minus 2x plus minus 2/3. Take 1 off that, you get minus 5/3. Again, use your calculator if your fraction skills are a little bit ropey. Everything you want to be checking in the calculator, to be honest. You do not want to make a silly error on the numeracy side and cost yourself the marks. So minus 2/3, minus 5/3. Oh, you lost the minus a bit there. Minus 8/3, all over 6. Just going to have to squeeze in a minus 2x cubed. So you're going to pop all that in your calculator and you are going to get 1 plus 4x over 3 plus 20x squared over 9 and 320x cubed over 81. Now, I wouldn't necessarily try and do all that in one go. I would be looking at, say, taking these 3 fractions first in my calculator. Let's do that in blue so it doesn't look... Then maybe do this part in your calculator second, and then times it by minus 2 cubed. Okay, do it in stages. If you do it in steps, you won't make mistakes. Hope that helps.